It's time to tinker and talk the night away. Grab your glue and paints, we're back again. It's model making day. From classic cars to soaring planes and steam trains on the track. Whether diecast builds or part work kits, there's no turning back. So let's tinker and talk, just you and me, building dreams from plastic, one sprue at a time. You see, whether sanding down or fitting parts, we share the joy, that's how it starts. Come along, let's tinker and talk the night away. Oh, got a Mustang here and a Spitfire too, maybe a steam train. The smell of glue, the sound of chat, in this world we all remain. Got a tip or trick, then drop it in chat. We build as friends, not just fans. This bench is open, the stream is live. Come lend a helping hand. Yeah, we tinker and talk with laughs and care. The hobby's better when you've got good folks to share. From sanding wheels to fixing wings, we celebrate the little things. So come on in, let's tinker and talk the night away. Screws and glue, just me and you, talking shop till the model's through. A misstep here, a perfect fit. We cheer each other every bit. Let's tinker and talk under workshop lights, chasing calm and joy through long creative nights. From revel kits to die-cast dreams, we're builders, makers, part of a team. It's Tuesday night, let's tinker and talk the night away.
Good evening all, and welcome to another Tinker and Talk Tuesday. I was just checking that the laptop was actually going to switch over camera because, as you saw, the timer was working today, wasn't working last week. But it's the first stream of the new year, so Happy New Year to you all. Now, I do have the Flying Scotsman. I have worked out where we got to last time. I think the last time I worked on this was back in maybe September. So it's been neglected for a little while. But it's back on the bench, so we're going to crack on and do a bit more work on that. It looks like it's just a little bit of valve gear at the minute. We did a little bit of valve gear last time, and so not a lot to do. I've got a couple of stages pulled out at the minute, but we'll see how we get through those. I do have a couple of other bits to show you as well, from what I said last week about the Max van or A-Team van. I'm not sure if I can call it the A-Team van, but I've actually started printing parts of that just today, so I've got some little bits to show you on that one as well. So let's get over to the workbench and let's get building. Hey Steve, Chris, Brett, and Ed. Alright, so as I said, before we hit the Flying Scotsman, this was like the first step of the A-Team van. And if you notice the bench move or vibrate or anything, it's because the K1 printer is busy printing the next part of it, basically. But I've printed these 4 parts. 6 parts? 6 parts. One of the parts was this little sort of calibration piece. And basically, they said about measurements and things like that, but the only measurement they showed was get one of these bearings and put it in that hole, which it fits. So theoretically, the printer is doing things to scale. So when I print all these parts, they'll just all work. Let's move that mouse out of the way. So I've got this is the front chassis, basically, or parts of the front chassis. And we've got the chassis rails. And basically they're just going to bolt together like that. Same on this side. Now, obviously, I will do a video when I've got a few parts ready to assemble. But as they're ready now, I figured I'd just quickly show you what I have. And we've got the inner wheel arches that are going to attach like so. And the bits that's printing at the moment is the tunnel section, so for the gearbox, and also the front windshield. So the way this all assembles is basically this part first, tunnel part, windshield, and then it's on to the next sort of stage of parts, which I'm actually not sure what they are, but gives you maybe a sense of scale of what this is going to look like. So that obviously go there like that. That'll bolt onto that piece roughly like that. And then if I grab roughly what I printed roughly last time, so got the wheel sort of sitting like so. So as I say, once I've got a few more parts together, then I'll do a video on the assembly of that. So it might be a couple of weeks or so, depending on how quickly and how efficiently I print the parts. So let's put all those to one side. And have a quick look at the printer. It says the other parts at the minute I've got about 5 hours to print. The next parts of that. It's printing at a 0.2 layer height, so reasonable quality, and hopefully I won't have too much sanding and smoothing to do. Yeah, well, it's going to be 1/8 scale, that 18 van. So there, and so it's called the Max van. So probably can't say 18 van. Although not actually really working on the Flying Scotsman tonight, I figured it's been a while since it's been on the channel, so I figured I'd show you where we're up to. Now, none of this is really assembled together, apart from that top part is one piece. That's assembled, but we will need to take this apart again. I need to get some new transfers for these wheels, which I know I can get, and I also need to repaint the wheels and also repaint the body as well. So it's in the proper green. That is the proper green, I think. But as you can see, it's not a brilliant paint job at the minute, so it still needs a little bit of work on that, but I'll do that when it comes to the painting section. And then we have the tender. That's only propped in loose at the minute, as are the wheels, but we put all that in a while back and put the brake rods in. So that is pretty much where we're up to with the main body parts of Flying Scotsman. You may remember we worked on bits like this last time, so the valve gear and these parts. Now, I know we need these parts for the next section. I think the last bits I assembled were these. So these are parts of the cross links, I think. I don't think we're doing anything with those at the moment, but we will need the screws from 76. So really tiny screws. I don't know if you remember, but I lost one of the nuts and then found it. So, which is pretty amazing. So trying not to lose those again today. So stages 77 and 78 are pretty much identical parts, as you can see. We're just basically working left and right. So let's pull over the magazine and I can show you exactly what we've got to do. Hey Bergdis. Oh nice. Are you going to print all the wacky races? I think they would do quite well as a part work, wacky races. So These are sidebar fillets, washout plug, crosshead drop link, crosshead, valve rod link, valve rocker, and expansion link. So that says see below. Do not need to follow the instruction given in issue 75 for the valve rockers. Use valve rocker supplied with this issue and the second valve rocker, which will be provided in issue 78. Okay, what did I do in issue 75 then? 4 valve rocker plates. What were they? What's those? Do not need to follow the instruction given in 75. Which instruction? I don't know which instruction I'm on about. Due to slight inconsistencies in the production of the valve rocker plates, part 293, we will be supplying modified parts in issue 77. Please wait and follow the step-by-step instructions in this issue once the modified parts have been received. I didn't see that last time. So, what was 293 then? So that's these parts. And what have they given us then? Valve rocker 311. Oh, that's this bit. Okay. Okay. I believe I understand. So that's these parts. Let's zoom in on that. So that's the valve rocker, and apparently in this bag we should have something that looks very similar. But it looks like it's a cast piece as opposed to what we've done, which is a laminated piece. So, that piece. Interesting enough, it looks, it's actually shorter. So, it's actually a shorter piece, as you can see. So, potentially, we don't need those. We should have 2 of those. So, get rid of that one as well. Zoom back out. And then we're going to be using that part, apparently. So, right. I think I understand what we're doing. First thing we're going to be doing is drilling some holes, though. So, drill some holes. Take the parts off, give them a clean up, and then this is the rod that we have. And then we've got to use the screws that we had in issue 76. And basically, a little bit of fiddly assembly. So, that would be fun, wouldn't it? What can possibly go wrong? Yeah, it's readily available, this file. I've been wanting one for a while. And yeah, I decided, right, I'm just going to look for one. Someone must have done a GMC van. Originally, I was looking for a GMC van. And yeah, I was thinking I could just upscale it. But yeah, when I saw this Max van, I thought, oh, that's brilliant. That's absolutely perfect. Yeah, I was doing Mallard Monday. Don't really release videos on a Sunday. That's when I usually record them. Hi, John. Welcome. Right. First thing we're going to need is a piece of sacrificial wood. We can do some drilling. So whilst these are still on the sprue, that's actually a little bit bent, but that should be fine. It's only the sprue that's bent. We need to drill this hole at 1.4 millimeters in diameter. So here's the drill bit I prepared earlier. What I could have done is probably actually prepared and drilled these earlier, but oh, look at that. That's already 1.4 mil. I find that some of these, they're the right size, and then sometimes they're not. Do need to get rid of that bit of flashing off there. And I think that's a bit of waste material as well. Or it's not cast very well. Piece. Yeah, let's have a look at this one. Yeah. Yeah, it's not too bad actually. First glance, it doesn't look like it's cast very well. Looking at the picture, it looks much wider on the picture, but I think that is how it's meant to be. So we need, oh, this one needs to also be 1.4 millimeters. So let's check that one. That one is also fine. That's good. And then we have this one. So ones that marked A need to be drilled at 1.2 millimeters. So that's this one. Now, none of these are drilled. That one has a hole in it, but that looks more than 1.2 millimeters to me. Oh. So let's do that one because that's an easy one. Don't know what type of metal this is, but it's certainly quite tough. There we go. So that's that one. We need to do this one. I've sort of broken my cardinal rule, which is actually starting with the larger one. And what I normally do is start with the smaller one. Because, we'll see, if you make a hole that's too small, you can make it bigger. Make a hole that's too big, not as easy to make it smaller. So, trying to ensure that I get the holes drilled in the right places with this 1.2. So this is actually quite tough metal. It's obviously a casting of some type of alloy, but no idea what. Right, just for ease, I'm going to cut that one off. I recognise these parts from doing the mallard. Couldn't tell you what the name of them are, but I'm sure the mallard wasn't this tough to drill the holes. That's pretty warm for where you are, isn't it, Bergdis? This morning it was -1 in Plymouth. So, but it warmed up to a balmy 7 degrees by the time evening came round. don't think this will fit in my drill because it doesn't have a chuck. No. I was wondering if it would fit in this, but no luck. I need to get a new multi-tool, to be fair, because the last one I had, I killed it. I think overuse. These display drill bits are actually pretty good, even with some tough metal. Hey, we're through. Right, so not done with drilling yet, unfortunately. So we also need to do 1.2 millimeters in the center of this, I think. Surely if I drill through that, that's going to take out that piece. Should that piece not be there then? What do you reckon? Do I just need to drill part of that in? Definitely wants me to drill out this all the way through. Might just have a look at the further instructions and see if I can work out what goes into that point. Because if I drill 1.2 mil into that, you can see that center point is pretty much just going to vanish. I need to drill a 1 millimeter hole somewhere up here. Let me have a look at the instructions a little bit better. Try and work out what I'm doing. So it does look like there is a hole there. But you can see that cross member is still in there. But yeah, clearly has a hole. Maybe I'd just do it then. Right, I'm just going to drill it. Clearly goes all the way through. Although if I do that, I'm going to have to take it out of this sprue, I think. Well, I think not going to be a very exciting stream if I'm just doing drilling holes tonight. Especially in this metal, isn't it? That's going to take forever to do. I'm glad I only pulled out 2 stages. I've got to do this again on the other stage. But that picture clearly shows that this goes all the way through, but I'm sure that's just going to disintegrate that center part. And it's definitely a 1.2 millimeter drill bit that I needed. Tell you what, I'm tempted to grab my drill because that's going to take forever. Right, let's see whether I can do it with the drill. A little bit overkill, I know. But let's see whether it'll speed things up a little bit. Let me find a pair of pliers to hold that, because I can see me drilling my finger or something. And although I am inspired by Wayne, I also know what not to do by Wayne. Right. Let's use a little bit of oil on the tip. Getting there. Ah, dang it. I knew that'd happen. Broke the drill bit. It's not designed, I don't think, for electrically assisted, or certainly not with a DeWalt drill on the end of it anyway. Done a reasonable amount. Right, let's see if I've got another 1.2mm drill bit. Yes, I do. I used oil Bergdis. I don't have any cutting fluid. Oil's good enough. Right. I think I'm going to have to go back to the manual process. Yeah, it's gone sideways on me as well. I'm going to get a straight hole now. Which probably means I'm going to have to try and drill through from this side. Luckily, there is a hole marked. I've got to try and hope that they align. Yep, I'm sure that'll work, Chris. Diamond drill bit, that'll be perfect for this. I don't know what casting this is, what metal it's cast out of. It's not. I think the other stuff's like the silver one. I think that's like a pewter, but this is definitely harder than that. Right. And I know not to use the powered drill because it didn't work. Well, it did work, to be fair. It just then snapped. I didn't really look too closely what I was doing actually before the stream. Otherwise, I'd have tried to get these drilled beforehand. He wasn't suggesting using it on you, Rach. Hey, go for it. So I did have like a, well, it was a knockoff Dremel type tool, which was fine. You could change the speed of it, and it wasn't too heavy, and it actually made a reasonable job of things. But yeah, these drill bits are too fine for the DeWalt weight, even though I tried to take as much weight off the drill bit as possible. Well, it's got a hole all the way through. It's not a brilliant hole. And I have to snap the drill bit. Ah. Should have just left it alone. Yeah, these display drill bits are good, but they can be a little bit fragile. Right, so we need to do another drill bit in that as well. That's a, which I think was a 1mm. Oh, I still need to do a 1.2 in that. So I might need to find another 1.2 drill bit. Good thing I've got a few. Although I'm pretty sure it's not going to be a display one this time around. Generic one, I think. Pretty sure that's 1.2. Yeah. Fits in that hole, so. Right. Let's just see whether I can clean up that hole a little bit with this one. Because it's not a very straight hole, and I'm sure I'm going to have to put something through it. Just try not to snap this drill bit. There we go. But as you can see, that centre section is pretty much disintegrated. Putting a 1.2mm drill bit through that. Right. So, we also need to put a 1.2mm drill in this piece. So let's take it off there. Use the pliers to hold it. And let's see how this one does as a mechanical. So the problem is with this one is I don't want to put too much pressure on it because I'll close up that gap. And I don't know how well this stuff will resist bending. I think I got that bit through. Let's spin it over and do the same on this side. I know after this I've got a load of fiddly assembly to do, so I'm going to try and concentrate on just this one side and see how far I get through it. And then if I get time, I'll do the other side, but it's already 8:30. and I've only done this little bit of drilling. I've broken 2 drill bits. Right, I think with there, try and make sure those holes are lined up as well. Right, so that's that drilled. What did I do with the instructions? So we have 1.2 mil drill through there, 1.2 drill through the end, 1.2 through that one, same with that one. Actually, did I do that one? No. That's that one. I think that's it for the 1.2 mil drills. So that one, that one, that one, that one. We've done C. We need to do B, which is a 1 mil drill bit. Yeah, I do have a bench vise, but it's a bit overkill. It's a massive one, and it's down that end of the workbench. So yeah, and it'll probably crush these parts. To be fair, I could do like a little mini bench vise or something. Yep, yep. Can always do with more stuff. Yeah. Right, 1 mil drill bit is what I'm after. Right, let's put the bolt drill down, because that's not going to work again. If it broke a 1.2 mil drill bit, it's definitely going to break a 1 mil drill bit. I should have these on like a subscribe and save from Dave at Tyrone Models, which is where I get them from. The amount that I just break all the time, mainly in this sort of stuff. And where am I drilling this 1 mil drill bit? It looks like through the top of here. There's a dimple just there, so I'm going to go with that's the point that I need to drill through. I'm sure on the mallard this was an open section, but maybe I'm wrong. Well, that went through nicely. Also a thinner bit of metal there. Right, can I get it to go through to the other side? In fact, let's go from this side because it has got a dimple there, and I can make sure it lines up then. See, if I was doing this for a video, you wouldn't see half of this stuff because I'd edit all the drilling out. Right, so that's a 1 mil drill through there. Right, so now we have a bit of assembly to do. We need this piece. That's going to get cut just there. And it's going to get cut. It's really difficult to see where this is sort of being cut. It looks like it's just there, so I'm going to need some better cutters for that. Just because I think I need to cut through that section there. I can feel I've got a load of metal shards on my thumb now. It's probably from the drill bits, to be fair, more than the brass or whatever that metal is. Just clean up the end of this. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I normally the display ones do a pretty good job, but I don't know. As I say, I have no idea what that metal is. Yep. Yep. Not wrong at all, Bergdis. No worries, Chris. I can send you that again. Right. I still don't know how if that's meant to be that long or not, but I'm sure I can shorten it if need be. I'm pretty sure it shouldn't be bent like that, because this is the crosslink that goes into the cylinder block. I know that much from the mallard. Right, so we need this piece. We need this piece. We need the piece off of here. Well, don't know where that other bit went, but I don't think there's anything left on that bit. Let's have a look. No, I think I took everything else off that part, so I won't go scrabbling around looking for that sprue. Good thing I held onto the part rather than the sprue. Right, so we need that part as well. So this is the first part of the assembly. We need the 12BA screw, which is the longer screw in here. Tiny, tiny screws. I'm still amazed that over the years that I've had this, no parts seem to have gone missing. I know I collected the parts after the subscription ended, in various bits and pieces, but they've all just been sort of kicking around in a box and all sorts. Yeah. So I'm very amazed that so far I haven't come across a missing piece. Right, so the first thing we need to assemble is that piece on there. And it does have a little keyway pattern, so that's going to sit on there like that. And that's then going to go in there like that, and then we've got this long screw which is going to go through and hold it all together, hopefully. I knew this would be a fiddly part. The rod linkages were fiddly on the mallard as well, but you didn't see most of the fiddly parts on the mallard. I don't know if the wear screwdrivers that I've got are going to be small enough for this. Oh, it is. Excellent. There we go. That's got that worked through. That's got to go and link that way. I've got that the right way around, haven't I? Just checking that I've got it the right way. Yeah. Looks like I'm all good. Thank you, Chris. Yep, that's the one, Chris. Right, so that's through there. So is that just a case of put the nut on the back of that one? Yes, it is. And then basically cut the length off the screw and bolt. Let's try and get that to go in there. Right. Grab that with power pliers. Dang it. Luckily I held on to the nut. I thought that I'd threaded in better than it had. Clearly not. Don't know if the class this stream is a success or failure at the minute. Certainly hoping to get more done, but as I said, didn't prepare for this stream very well. I just said it on a whim that I was going to do the Flying Scotsman today on yesterday's update video because I hadn't done it for a while. And yeah, needed more prep work, I think. Because I think for when it comes to doing the other side of this, what I'll do is I'll probably just do it all and then we can move on to something a little bit more interesting. Because you don't need to see this again. You really, really don't. Couldn't do this in 24 hours. Right. It's so fine screw heads as well. Can't get it to go in. Come on. Sorry, I know I'm quiet, concentrating. Can't do two things at once. I'm pretty sure all these nuts were the same. And what are the chances that I picked the wrong one out of all the ones that are in there? How many are actually in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Were they different? Check the old previous instructions. No, they're all the same. All the same nuts. So I can't have got it wrong. I picked up the wrong one. Just can't get this to go on. going to give up on this in a minute. This is the rest of the stream, by the way. Me trying to get a nut on a bolt. Can't believe how difficult this is proving to be at the minute. It's sort of going on, but I'm sure it's trying to cross thread. And I know from the mallard, if I try and put too much force on these screws, the heads break. Just not having it. I'm going to try a different nut. Might be a placebo thing, but I'm going to try a different one. Right, let's try and back this screw out of that bit. Of course, it could be the screw, I guess. That's the issue, not the nut. I don't have a die that I could tap, that I could re-thread the screw with. Right, that's the other thing. Try the other screw. I guarantee it, if I try and put this screw into that nut, whilst it's not through this assembly, it will go on, won't it? No. Right, let's try the other one that we've got in here. Unfortunately, I don't have a spare, so if this one works and the other one doesn't, then don't quite know what to do with that. Let's see if I can find some more of these. Right, let's try it without putting it through anything first. I think it's just me being an idiot. Because that doesn't want to go on there either. Just can't get it lined up, I think that's the problem. Right, let's try a little bit of oil. Never know. Right, so that's got to go through there, and that's got to go. That's got to go through this way. That's got to go that way up. Because you can imagine that I'll get this the wrong way up after I've got it all screwed together. Right. Let's try this again. Yeah. Let's hold that in the pair of pliers. Right, it is sort of going. There we go. I think that's got it. A little bit of brute force. Right, there we are. That's sat in the wrong position, technically. But hopefully I'll sit now like that, and then hopefully I can tighten this up. So you don't want it too tight because we do need this to move. But at the very least it's through. There we go. That was more difficult than it should have been. Right. Where are we? 4 minutes to go. Let's see what else is left to do on this. We need that, and we need that to link into there. And if that takes as long as it as the first bit did, then this will be the end of the stream. I won't even fit in there in a minute. I think I might have crushed it a little bit when drilling. That's better. Alright, we need the shorter of the two types of screw. Right. There is more to this stage, but I'm going to finish it after trying to get this screw in, depending on how successful this is. Of course, these aren't magnetic because they're brass screws. Come on. Right, I think I've got that partly through. Let's see if we can get the nut on the end of that. Wouldn't it have been easier to glue the nut on the end and then screw it in? Right, where'd that one go? I've lost it. Oh, there it is. Right. So you need like 3 hands to be able to do this. Nope. The screw's not long enough for that. Right. Let's see where I can just potentially, hopefully, hand thread it on. Oh, I think I actually did it. Right, so that's bolted together. It doesn't move very freely at the minute, but I'm sure that can be improved. Right, before I lose that one, let's put that back in the bag. We should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6 screws. Now we've used 2 out of the 8, so that's fine. We've still got that piece, which I'm not sure what it is, and that piece. We should really be linking these parts together as well, but there's 2 screws in that one. So you've seen how long it's taken me to do those 2, so I'm going to leave the rest for now, but it literally would have been just those 2 parts to finish off, which I'll probably just do off camera, and then I'll do 78, which is the exact same as this, for the next time, and then I think in 79 I think we're moving back to the cab. So if I end up doing Flying Scotsman next week, it'll probably be at this stage, so we can do a bit more of the cab work, a little bit more exciting. So that is all for tonight, I think. I've had enough fiddly screws, so I'll do the other ones when I'm not on a bit more of a time scale. So let's switch camera. If it's going to switch, come on, there we go. So very fiddly task, not much to show for tonight, but a step closer to the Flying Scotsman being finished. I still need to go through some of the magazines that I've got there, because I know some of those, certainly the cylinder blocks, are already attached to the chassis. So I know I've done some bits beyond 70 odd that I'm at the moment, so still need to work through that, but I'm hopefully, I believe every single stage up to this point is done, so it's not going to be a case of flitting back to previous stages, and it is now a case of just follow the rest of it through, and maybe just skip the odd 1 or 2 that I may have already done. So hopefully next week, if I have got this organised a little bit better than I currently do, we'll move on to doing the cab work. So try and get Flying Scotsman done this year. It's certainly been hanging around long enough now, and I think it will look really good up here next to Mallard. So yeah, so thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully I'll see you next week. Cheers.